You want to do it for me? Hey guys, welcome back. We're back again doing the draft recap for our teams and stuff. We got Niners, Dallas, and Raiders. I figure we can hit up one of these teams and see what we think about the draft.
Why don't we go ahead?
How about we start with my team first?
Start with your team, Steve. Since you picked earliest.
Since we picked
since there hasn't been enough conversation about the Niner draft over the last weekend or things leading up to it. I mean, we certainly haven't beat this horse to death, right? This poor mule still has a countryside to walk. Let's talk about the Trey Lance pick, bro.
We can talk about the Trey Lance
I mean, the Trey Lance pick, is there anything else that needs to be said? But the rest of the draft, no one's really talked about. And I think that's an interesting part of this. So what do you think of it, Steve?
Well, personally, I like Trey Sermon. Trey Sermon. I like him.
Oh, Trey and Trey.
I do like him. I'm not sure on Aubrey Thomas from Michigan. And I don't understand why we even picked up another running back at the end of the draft. So
yeah.
I mean, they like that the safety from USC, the late rounder. I mean, other than that, I think Aaron Banks, they say he'll be a staple, a mainstay for us for a minute. I mean, the real pickup I like was Trey. I mean, of course, both Treys, I would say I did like them both. But other than that, I'm not even going to be – I would imagine Chris knows more about the DB from Oregon because he told me how he liked the Oregon defenders.
Washington.
Oh, it wasn't Washington? Well, then Washington. There you go.
Levi, Tryon, Molden. I like those guys. I did like Holland. But Lenore was good. He was good up there. I mean, you guys needed bodies to throw at that cornerback position, dude.
And I think that's what they did. They got some bodies to throw there. We'll see how they all pan out. Like that's my thing on the defensive side because I mean I really think the first three picks they're going to contribute. Well, and that's the thing. Trey's probably not even going to contribute. Maybe he'll come in on packages or something like that. But I don't see if we're having a good season. I don't see Trey really making a big impact on the team this year. You know what I'm saying? But I think
Jimmy G delusion is so strong with Niner fans. It's just astounding.
But I think Sermon will have. Well, I'm going on what the coach says. Like this is how the coach dreams it up. So it's not. That's what they're saying, and so I'm going to go by what they're saying. I mean, I agree with what they're saying. So I kind of like the way they're going about it. I kind of like the style they're doing with Trey Lance. So, I mean, yeah, that's what I want. That's what I'm saying. If the season goes well, I don't expect to see Trey Lance in there for just package plays.
I mean, let's be real about this, right? It wasn't but about 2-3 decades ago that drafting a quarterback in the first round and having him sit for a year was somewhat kind of the norm, right? I mean, Carson Palmer did it. You know what I mean? And it actually probably benefited him, to be quite honest with you, being able to catch up to the speed of the game instead of being thrown in there, right? I mean, here's the thing, okay? Everybody got their guy this weekend. Let's be real. Every first round pick, that was our guy. That was our guy the whole time. Right. Only since January I've been on Trey Lance. So says Kyle Shanahan, right? Bullshit, right? I think that eventually they came to the consensus, which was the right thing, that he was a far better prospect than Mac Jones, right? I mean, those of us who just watch football just for shits and giggles every Sunday could see that. How they all of a sudden were Mac Jones in love just really speaks to the style of quarterback the Shanahans have always wanted, from Jake Plummer, I mean, all the way up, all the way up. They've wanted this kind of guy, right? This was the first time. And what's funny is I think if you could rewatch it, when they were sitting there showing the Niner war room as the pick was being called, Shanahan was sitting his ass down while the other guys were standing up. He did not look like the guy who said, I made up my mind in January. This is my guy. He wasn't the one standing on the table for Trey Lance. I don't believe that for one second. Now I will say this. I think they lucked out. I think they got a great prospect. I mean, in that system, Trey Lance fits perfectly. I said it from Jump Street, right? Now, the odds are 1 out of these 5 quarterbacks is going to make it, right? The other 4, odds are they are going to bust out, be lifelong backups, things along those lines, right? Let's be real. So that's the numbers. Can this be 1983 revisited? We kind of all hope so. We're fans of the game, right? But I just don't know if that's the reality of it all.
Well,
Trey has as
nobody
good a
knows.
chance of making it as he does as busting out as the other 4 guys do.
As the other 4 guys, I agree with that. That's just the way the football is, right? And they're all guesses. You're guessing on potential talent.
Yep.
Like that's pretty much what you're doing. Like, and
well, when it comes to quarterbacks, especially, bro,
it's not there's no science.
It's pressure packed, dude. It's just super pressure packed, man. You've got, you're the face of the franchise. You take all the heat in the losses. You get all the heaping praises when they win. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a pressure cooker. And when you're 20 years old, bro, I mean, dude, I watch my kids at 20 years old. How do you think they're going to handle it? I mean, come on.
No, that's why do you think I want this kid to sit for a year?
Well, it's also situation. I mean, one of the biggest factors is a lot of the time when you're a high draft pick as a quarterback, you're coming into a terrible situation. A lot of these dudes, like we talked about David Carr, he got ruined by them having no offensive line, and he's ghosts in the pocket from that point on in his career because he just got hit so much. The Niners are in a situation that's a lot different from someone picking at 3. They're picking at 3, and they're picking a quarterback where this dude can come into a good situation. I don't agree with to have him sit for a year thing. I mean, now you're just delaying the inevitable. We're going to wait a year to see if he's the answer at quarterback. Put the kid in there right now. You have a good enough team. You're not going to kill him. He does, let's see what he can do. I'd be surprised if they opt to sit there and let Jimmy G play for a year when he's a 1-year rental. You moved up to 3 for this dude. And it's not like you got to worry about him getting killed.
And you gave up 3 ones.
Yeah, that's right.
And you gave up 3 ones for this. And I would even go as far as to say the thing that I totally agree about is they just need to Dak Prescott this kid and dumb down the playbook and play with about 50 to 60% of the playbook and move on from Jimmy. Because Kimani's right, dude. Having this delusion that Jimmy is going to be this stand-up guy and overcome the odds and lead you to the promised land so you can get 3 first-round picks back when you trade Jimmy G because you happen to have Trey Lance in the background. That's not going to happen. Jimmy does not have the testicular fortitude, okay, to fucking withstand this kind of pressure. You seen he didn't stand that pressure in the Super Bowl. He got hit in the chops once, and the balls start coming out like a wounded duck.
Soft. The man is soft, bro.
Yes, bro.
Soft.
Yes, bro. Even porn stars have said so.
That's what his girlfriend calls him, a softie.
Wow. That's what's wrong with it, huh? No, I mean, I'm just going to go by how the coaches want it done, and I'm going to go by what they're saying on, what they're telling everybody.
So Trey area. So it's all about the Trey area, Steve. Trey area right now.
Wow. No, not yet. He will be making an appearance, but
come on, bro. It's the Trey area.
Right now, they're going to do the same thing that KC did with Alex Smith when they moved up for Patrick Mahomes. And look, if you play, it was one of Alex Smith's best years he's had was in KC that year when he's got Patrick Mahomes looking over. But what happened? They lose in the first round of the playoffs. They make a move from Alex Smith to Patrick Mahomes. He starts his second year. And this is what you get.
Yeah,
I think
so. Alex Smith's got a pair though. That he ain't soft. So I'm saying that's why I'm holding this up. Week 5. By week 5, and so we can bet on this.
Oh, I thought that was his number, Steve. No. Steve, it's spiral time. Get the spiral. It's time to mark some spiral down.
By week 5, Jimmy G is no longer the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers.
Trey will come in, says Key.
By week 5.
Okay.
I feel like I got good odds because whether through injury or whatever, he'll be in by week 5, and I think there's a good chance he's nursing some bullshit injury by week 5, regardless.
Yeah. I mean, you got to figure
that's the fucking problem.
You got through the first week of October. You got through the first week of October to be right at this point. I mean, almost a solid 5+ months.
Yep.
To have this fumble and bumble even more while he stumbles his way on out of here.
That's right.
Hey, so
Super
Steve,
Bowl.
I'm sure. Yeah. So Steve, tell me about your boy Trey Sermon too.
He lost his goddamn mind.
Tell me about Trey Sermon. What'd you think about Trey Sermon?
I think he'll be him and Mostert will be a good 1-2 punch. I think
yeah,
why not? I mean, Shanahan likes running backs.
Yeah, but you can like running backs, but is he a good running back? He's pretty
He is a good running back.
I don't know that his game transfers to the NFL game. He doesn't have a lot of burst. He doesn't have a lot of fit. I mean, he's all right. Maybe he'll be like a Le'Veon Bell and shock everybody, but I just don't see a lot that's like jumping off the page at me where you're going like, yeah, this is a dude we should have drafted in this spot. I thought it was a bad pick.
I thought it was a good pick. He was a consensus second running back. I mean, he ran good at Ohio State. Like, I was watching the highlights on him. I mean, it wasn't like he was running against crap people,
I mean, at Ohio State, though, but at Ohio State, you could put like an injured old lady back there, and she's going to get 3 yards a carry.
How much different is Ohio State than Alabama? You're sitting here crushing the quarterback Alabama because he's got stars everywhere. This guy is playing with stars everywhere too. They're playing with stars everywhere.
We gotta bring up Mac Jones. Why are we bringing up Mac Jones?
It just became synonymous with the Niners, man. We can't just break from it this easily.
Yeah, bro. Come on, dude. I mean, dude, that's like saying when you bring up Phillip, why do we talk about Eli?
All right, you know what? Every time I watch Mac Jones have a terrible game, I'm gonna make sure I mark that down for Chris. Told you, he's garbage.
You do.
He's gonna be garbage.
He's gonna be garbage.
He's gonna be garbage.
I agree.
All this talk is moot point because the dude's gonna be garbage.
Yeah, hot garbage, hot, steaming.
Well, you guys traded up. You guys traded up for Sermon too.
Yeah.
I like it. We traded, I think, with the Raiders, right? I think we traded with the Raiders to get him.
Might have been, yeah. I think it was 2/4. I think it was 2/4.
Well, yeah, but that was part of your. So I don't know that you traded.
It was the Rams. It was the Rams.
That was the Rams. Okay. Because you got a 4th round from us, but that was when we traded up to get Merrick, right?
Oh, okay.
So you guys didn't trade up; it was just part of that package. So it may have been a Raider pick. I don't know, but
all right.
Well, they start moving. They start moving hands so much, man. Dude, you never know, bro.
Let me ask you this: any sleeper picks in here that you guys like?
For you guys? And the only other player that the only player other than Trey Lance that I am like, oh yes, on this team, I really like Aaron Banks, bro. But that's because I've been following him because he's a young kid from the Bay Area, dude. He went to El Cerrito. He's from Alameda. That's the main reason why I've been following him. Even and I do like Notre Dame, right? So I watch a lot of Notre Dame games. So I've been watching him for a while.
You would like Notre Dame.
You're damn right.
White boy college of all white boy colleges. If there's a white boy team out there, you can bet Chris is somewhat of a fan of them. Boston, Notre Dame.
Yep. Man U. Oh wait, I mean, Liverpool. I don't know, Chelsea, whichever one.
Dallas.
So Steve, what's your overall draft grade for your team then? What are you giving them?
Honestly, if I have to be honest, I mean it depends on if we're B, C. I mean, I like
a B or a C. You guys got a number 3 quarterback in the draft, and you're giving yourself a B minus.
Yeah, B minus. There you go. I like that.
Steve, I have it written down right here. It is actually what I gave your team was a B minus, and I gave you guys that. I gave you your first pick of the draft an A. I thought it was a great pick. I thought the move up was smart for you guys. I told you I'm not a believer in your Jimmy Jesus, so you guys needed the QB there. The rest of the draft to me was underwhelming, but because of that first pick, that drives you guys up there. I don't know that you guys totally did terrible the rest of the draft, but you guys didn't have any other picks out there that I was excited about or thought.
I do like our first 3 picks. I'm with that. So we'll just see how everything else goes. But yeah, I gave it a B minus. Same thing with you.
What about you, Chris?
I mean, bro, they got if they get their franchise quarterback, it's an A+.
But we won't know.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what? In 3 years, we don't know if it's an A+ or an F. Because if he busts out, it's an F. Let's be real, right?
Very true.
Right?
It all hinges
so everything hinges upon Trey Lance. Everybody else after that is fluff. So I'm going to go ahead and say that, in my opinion, Trey Lance is an A- prospect, if not an A. So that's what I'm giving him.
Okay,
that's what I would give him draft wise.
Okay,
I think that's good analysis of the situation for sure, because the long term prospects of it does all hinge on that.
I mean,
I agree.
If he's successful within the next 5 years, bro, this is a home run draft.
Yeah,
all three of these first round picks are forgotten. No one gives a shit.
If you get your franchise quarterback, man, it don't matter, bro.
Yep. Give it all up. Up. So I'm good with. I'm like I said. To me, everything hinges on Trey Lance. I think that you really get a bump up for Aaron Banks. After that, I mean, yeah, you threw bodies at your two positions of need at safety and at corner, but that scheme fit and team. It's hard for us to really give them legit grades.
Yeah,
none of those dudes were in my top 50 to 70 players in this draft.
That's how I felt. Looking at it, no one jumped out at me as like, oh, that was somebody I had targeted as someone I would.
Right. So, but if Trey hits, bro, it's over, dude. I mean, come on, home run.
All right, I like it. Well, let's move on to the Raiders.
All right.
What do you guys think about that? What are you thinking over there, Keith?
Okay, so Raiders draft is kind of a tough one to fully gauge. It's kind of up and down a lot. Obviously, we talked about Leatherwood ad nauseum already a bit because it was probably the biggest reach in the draft, according to most people. Like we said, too, though, if he works out and it pans out, it'll be one of those things in a few years. We'll look back on it. Won't be as big of a deal. I think he has a decent chance to work out.
And I think he absolutely does. I'll tell you the truth. As I look through this draft again, I hate to interrupt this, but as I look through this draft again, and because I've heard the same thing, absolute reach, surprise pick, all GMs, all coaches shocked at the whatever, bro. I'm going to say this dude is put in probably one of the top 5 best positions to actually succeed of all the first rounders. Him going to play right tackle in an offense where Gruden basically helps because he runs his little dink and dunkers, protect his O-line, and he wants guys to come off the ball in the run game and hit dudes in the face. This dude is set up to succeed. He fits everything the Raiders actually needed in a right tackle. He's a big body dude. I'm sorry. I don't think this is as bad a pick as people are clamoring it up to be.
I don't think people think it's a bad pick. I haven't heard like that. I just heard that they felt like you could got him a little bit later. Like you didn't have to get him at that spot. You know what I mean? I think that's all. I don't think anyone's saying that this dude's gonna be a bad player. I just think they're saying the same thing as we were saying about Mac Jones. You didn't have to get him at that spot. You could have probably got him later.
Yeah. The thing I would add to that, though, is that that's positionally specific, right? Because Leatherwood played guard and then was moved out to right tackle. He was considerably worse his next year at right tackle than he was at guard. So will he pan out at the NFL level at right tackle? If he does, it ends up being an okay pick. If he ends up needing to be kicked into guard, it's not a good pick because we already have guard sorted out. It's not a neat area like right tackle was. And, I mean, it's always great to have extra O-linemen, but then you still have a glaring hole at right tackle. So I think kind of like with a lot of stuff, there's some stuff out there that remains to be seen with him. That being said, it's not as bad as like DHB or something, but it was still a reach.
Let me ask you this, okay? If he turns out to play as good as Zach Martin for the next 4 years,
then you'll win.
At guard.
That's a win.
That's a huge win, right? I mean, because Zach Martin was drafted 16th and he was a tackle, kicked in. Now, I'm not saying Leatherwood's as talented as Zach Martin was coming out of the draft, but I'm just saying that even if he's kicked in at guard and he plays right guard for the next 4 years at a Pro Bowl level, right? Or Jacobs is rushing for 1,400 yards like he should be if Gruden's giving him the ball. I think it's a win. I don't see this as being as bad, bro. When I watched Leatherwood play in the championship games too, dude, he played well, bro. He played well against high caliber talent. A lot of those Alabama's dudes did. They didn't play good all year, but come the big games when the lights turned on, them dudes showed up, and he was one of them, in my opinion. I like the Raiders draft, bro. I'm looking 1 through 5 depth. I'm like, dude, all of these dudes are ballers, bro. All of these dudes are players.
You know what?
That's one of them.
I thought
he's one of them.
I thought you go down their next picks all the way down to Nate Hobbs.
Dude.
That's a pretty good draft. I don't know much about Jimmy. I was trying to do my homework on all these guys, and it was easier because, you didn't have that many people. And they were easy because I remember most of these players, your top one, Trap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I remember me and Chris was doing the simulated draft. These are the guys we were going after. These are the guys you were looking. These were the guys. So like we were doing simulated drafts and stuff, and so that's why I got to Tyreek Gillespie.
Is it true, Kiwani, that Mayock actually ran this draft this time?
That's what they're saying.
Like,
yeah,
doesn't it look like
saying.
a Mayock draft? Look at except for Leatherwood. I'll bet money everyone
Actually,
else.
Leatherwood fits his MO, bro.
That's a Mayock pick. Oh, that's.
I could say that about I could say that through their first 5 picks, bro. Maring was a 3-year starter at TCU. Koontz was a starter for a long time at Buffalo. The only thing Buffalo doesn't check is big program, big conference, right? Diablo was a long-time starter. Gillespie, they got players, bro.
Yeah, I remember
they did good this draft. I thought.
I think Koontz was one of those guys we was talking to Kiwani about being able to take later on in the. That's what I'm saying. All these names behind Leatherwood, because I'm gonna be honest with you, that name never popped up on us when we were talking. But all the other ones, all the way down to Hobbs did. Again, I don't know Jimmy Morrissey, but I know Chris. He's a center from Pittsburgh. I don't know who he is.
Morrissey's actually my favorite late round pick that they had. Okay. He fits a position in need, and he has pretty good tape. He's a center, and he has good tape, man. He's smart. He plays smart. That's what you need from somebody from the center position. My issue with down, I actually like down the draft, like you guys are saying. There's a few issues I have with it. Number one, it's safety heavy as all hell, which was a position I didn't have marked as an area of big need. I like the Merrick pick just because you're probably getting the best safety in the draft if his health stuff ends up checking out. Obviously, if he has chronic back issues, then it's a terrible pick, but we'll kind of see how that shakes out too. I think in the long run, I gave him an A for that pick. I think it was their best pick of the draft. But then why, when you have Carl Joseph, you got Abram, you've got, what's his name? Heath, I think. And then you draft Merrick. Why do you come back and get more safeties later on? And especially because you got Diablo, who I guess they're going to try to put at weak side linebacker.
Yeah, he'll play linebacker.
He's undersized as all hell. So he's another one of those tweeners because I keep hearing like, oh, he's the Cam Chancellor in this. Well, Cam Chancellor was a safety, so he's not the Cam Chancellor then.
In a 4-3 scheme, it's 6'3", 225, 230. That's not undersized, right? And he's fast going downhill. His problem was always getting shit over his head, right? Yeah. I think he's going to be a quality linebacker and nickel backer for you guys. Quite honestly, I think his size and his coverage skills against tight ends and things in that nature is going to show right away. His special teams values going to show right away. This guy is probably my favorite pick because I knew he was going to play linebacker and not safety for you guys, right? I mean, he's just. It just fits his game a lot more to go in that route, in my opinion. Yeah. I liked him a lot. And I liked Merrick. I did not realize he had injury issues, right? Having known that, I probably would have said somebody who's the number one safety, but I think his tape justifies him being viewed as the number one safety.
Well, I think he fits a need, too, because he's a free safety. The Raiders have a bunch of thumpers out there. He's more your coverage guy. I think he's a real good pick. Hey, Koontz is one that, we needed pass rush, so we talked about this, someone that can get after the quarterback.
An edge.
But from everything, everything I'm reading, though, is that he's probably a third down player, and that's about it. Yes. He's a serious liability against the run.
So pass rusher. Straight pass rusher.
Right. So situational pass rusher. Yeah.
You're going against a bunch of passing teams.
If he gets some sacks for us, then that's great. If he disappears into the mix because you can't get him on the field often enough, then because the Raiders could still be in danger of being one of those teams that has a hard time getting teams to third down to even get him on the field. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, all in all, man, I was real negative after Leatherwood because it was like that whole here we go again. But they filled a lot of needs. I don't like the whole safety thing. When it was all said and done, I give the Raiders a solid C on their draft. I think they were solid in some areas. Some areas they reached too much. And they overdrafted a position that wasn't a position of need. There was other areas, especially some of these guys down there, that you could have gone in a position, grab some players that are at a position of need when you're getting to that point in the draft, because that's like throwing darts at a board in the 4th through 7th round anyway, if they're going to stick or not.
So. I think Hobbs. I think you got some solid players in the back end. See, I disagree. Actually, I like aside from, I'm going to give you a B plus. You know what I'm saying? Like, I actually think your pick. I like him. I mean, all the way down. I like him.
The draft value on Kuntz and Diablo, they both were overdrafted according to most experts, as they were drafted higher than they should have been. So I don't hate them as picks. I think they're all right. But once again, it's like overdrafting a little bit. So I gave them solid C's for most of the middle rounds. I gave Merrick an A, Leatherwood's a D pick for me still. Mainly because of what I said. I don't know that he's a right tackle, and you had other guys there that were definite right tackles you could have taken, which were consensus higher rated than him. Darrisaw was there. You could have gone a different route or waited to get Leatherwood or traded back. It just wasn't a well-executed pick. If he works out in the long run, like I said, we'll look back and it won't matter. But as I'm grading it right now, I give that a D+. Merrick's an A. C's everywhere else except for Morrissey. I like Morrissey. I gave him a B for that one. Overall, C.
I'll be here all day.
Yeah, see, and I don't know if I so much agree with this thought that Darrisaw was such a better prospect for the Raiders. Right? Because again, he totally grades out as a left tackle, and you just paid Colton there. Now, don't get me wrong. Me personally, as a GM, I would have taken the left tackle and moved Colton's ass. Right? I would have found a way, because to me, Darrisaw graded out higher than Leatherwood, there's no doubt. But I think from a Raider perspective, if you're looking for a right tackle, the only other guy I felt that could realistically come close on the right side is going to be Jenkins. That could have been the only other one that I think anybody could have said, made real argument for, of saying, hey, but here's the thing. Like you were saying earlier, Leatherwood can kick into guard. I'm not sure Jenkins can. Right. So if all things are equal, give me the guy with a little bit of that position flex. I have a vision for what I want the player to be. And if it doesn't work out there, he could still play there. I'd rather have the option of having that than going for a guy that's like, nope, this is the vision. He has to be there because he can't be anywhere else.
I agree with that. The problem is that we're stacked at guard. We don't need a guard in any way, shape, or form. We needed a right tackle. It's a very specific pick, specific position. So it is going to be, if he does work out there this year, you have a big hole in your roster. And as we've talked about before, teams rush from either side now. Left tackle, right tackle, you both got to be able to protect the passer. Carr does not do well under pressure. He's not good in pass protection. It could end up being a rough looking pick after this first year. Down the road, and they decide like next year kick him into guard or whatever, and he plays good, it may be fine then. I'm just saying, like, immediate prospects for him, it's not a great. I don't love it.
Yeah, and I see, and I'm looking at it. I'm looking to Liam Eichenberg probably would have been a better selection as well. He went on the 10th pick of the second round. He also is another guy that could play right, left, inside. That dude, I like him quite a bit. I'm not saying that what the Raider draft.
Yeah,
Raider.
Yeah, what's your grade?
I'd say probably a solid B.
Okay.
Mainly because I do like I like their secondary selections. I think that, they grabbed a ton of safeties, but one's moving to linebacker. I think that thinking down the road, you've got Jeff Heath's deals coming up. He's old in the tooth. I could easily see one of these kids beating him out, right? The Abrams.
Right back. I got you. Go ahead. Keep going, Chris.
Some of the other safety play for them as well. I myself think that the Raiders had a fairly decent draft. I'm not going to kill him for taking Leatherwood if he's the best fit for their line, which he might very well be.
I mean, I guess that goes with all of us. If our top fucking player that we draft pans out like we want, that makes all of our grades an A, regardless,
huge
right?
difference.
Huge difference. But what I was looking at with them was, even if that one doesn't pan out, they're stacked on the back end that they're going to hit on a couple of these.
Yeah, a couple of these defenders on the back end are going to play, bro.
Yeah, they're going to hit. That's why I gave them that B plus, because like those guys are going to hit. And
I'm going to go as far as to say that I think that realistically they're going to have 4 contributors from this team.
Exactly.
Right? I think it's going to be Leatherwood, Merring, Diablo, Gillespie, or Hobbs, and I think that one of those DBs won't. I don't think
Yeah.
Kuntz is going to struggle, bro. He's
You
too
think-
light in the ass. He's too situational. You know, I don't
Okay.
see it. I don't see it. You know, the Morrissey pick as well. I mean, he's a
And I heard
center.
Hobbs is a solid cornerback from Illinois. People don't know him is because he's from Illinois, but I heard he
Mhm.
was pretty good. I mean, I just think in the grand scheme of things, I'm with you. They got about 4 players. I would have said 5 that can contribute to them right away. Like right away. And that makes a big difference on your draft grade to me. Like you got players that are gonna make a difference right now.
Right.
And so
Um,
they did well there. And I figure we can always come back with Key to the Raiders draft because I've
sure
been watching
he's-
our time. Yeah. And I wanted to move on to the Cowboys because we've been doing this perfectly timed at 15 minutes per team. 15 minutes per team. And you got the longest draft class of them all. You have
Yeah, but
the
we're not
most-
gonna. I'm not going through every one of these guys.
You're not
dude.
going
I
to get to
mean,
Matt
come
Farinock,
on, Matt Farniok. You know, I mean,
Israel Bukan.
Mukamuru. He might actually have a chance at making the team because they're so porous in the
What about-
secondary, right?
You
But
got
I can tell you,
Clayton
Farniok will end up on the practice squad. Bohannon will probably end up on the practice squad.
Farrell,
Simi,
Simi.
my hope is Simi can actually beat out the Noah Brown, Cedric
That would
you
be
know,
nice to see a
Wilsons
Stanford
of
guy.
the world.
I got
right?
you. I'm working on that.
I like his athleticism. His athletic score is through the roof, dude. I mean I liked that pick. And people, and what's funny is everybody's like, we don't need no damn receiver, bro. This team needs a receiver more than you think, right? If Cedric Wilson is your automatic 4th, bro, you need a receiver. If Noah Brown is your automatic 5th, you need a receiver.
I like Jabril Cox.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
So here's another. So I don't know what's going to happen with Josh Ball out of Marshall. Everybody says he's a top 100 talent in this draft, but he has major domestic violence issues, right? He had major red flag because of his domestic violence that he had when he was down at I think Florida, maybe. I think he went to Florida initially.
And then, I mean, you can get that together, but
Right here, it says he was suspended in May of 2018 by Florida State for dating violence, and he eventually left the team to play at Butler Community College, and then he went to Marshall.
okay.
Right? They say dude is super talented, allegedly. Right? I mean, I didn't think of watching any tape, considering that the era that we're in. You would not sure if he justifies, right? But hey, you know what? I seen somebody put on one of these draft board things, communication about the Cowboys. I lost all respect for him. Bro, listen, first of all, we live in a country of second and third chances, built on second and third chances. And if you're not going to sit there and give the Cowboys, the one franchise that has gone out of their way to give guys second and third chances and put people in good positions, right? I'm going to keep my faith in them that that they did their homework on that dude. You know what I'm saying? And
You have to do, right? Like that's it. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with giving someone a second chance. I mean, I always say there's so many people that are like, bro, I don't even want to get into that. That's a whole another issue,
dude. But Jabril Cox, I feel was kind of a steal. They wanted to take him at 99. Yeah, bro.
I like that guy.
He might be my favorite. He's by far my favorite draft pick for the Cowboys. I was super stoked when we got him as well because I've been hyping him up, this whole draft season. And, for him to end up, that's what's funny is they're every one of our teams has a player that I was hyping up. You know what I'm saying? More so than others, right? Jabril, Divine, and Trey Lance, right? So we're gonna find out one way or the other if I'm super full of shit or if there's one inkling of knowing what the fuck I'm talking about.
I actually liked them all, and I knew once I knew once they got Cox, I was like, oh, Chris is gonna like that one.
Yeah,
Chris is gonna like that. I already knew that. I mean, that was
the I've shown things to in the text amongst us about the Kelvin Joseph over the Marion pick, right?
Yeah, what do you think about
Everybody loves to talk about. We got over on Jerry and the Cowboys, bro. I got it on good authority that they were taking cornerback no matter what, right? I mean, straight from Stephen Jones's mouth that they were taking Kelvin Joseph, and I mean, and that was their guy. What's funny is allegedly again, everybody got their guy. That was their guy, right? And we're like everybody's watching it. I mean, he's okay. I'll say this.
Corners, he's not one of the ones you talked about.
We talked about him. We did talk about Kelvin Joseph because he's probably 5th or 6th early on in the process. We talked about when we went through all the corners. This is the thing.
We didn't talk
all
much.
of the attention is always paid to the top 10 or the top 2 or the top 3, right? So every time you talk corners, the first 20 minutes is J.C. Horn and Patrick Surtain. Yeah, and I'm telling you, dude, when I went through, I talked to him. We talked about Greg Newsome. We talked about Caleb Farley and his injury. We did talk about Kelvin Joseph because we talked about Jamin Davis, the linebacker in Kentucky as well. Those are the 2 players from Kentucky that we talked about that I told you that I liked.
I'm just saying I didn't. So
we didn't spend a ton of time on him. Let's put it that way.
Because we only talked about the top corners.
The top 4. We only talked about the real 4 that were realistic in the first round, and all 4 of them did go. And Tyson Campbell was a high riser. Eric Stokes was a high riser. Yeah. Well, dude, that's because, bro, it's because we know that's somebody's kid. Yeah, right. I mean,
so you like him? He's going to start.
He's going to play a lot. Just like Trayvon Diggs played a lot. Yeah, he's the future at that position for them. He's one of them at least. Do I think that he's this great,
Obviously, he's not going to be. I get it. He was.
I mean,
second round corner.
Yeah.
It's a second round.
But I mean, our second round corner played really well last year. Trayvon Diggs played really well last year for a rookie in the second round.
Okay.
So if he plays as good as him, I'm good with that. I liked Osa Odighi not nearly as much as I liked Levi. Dude, Levi to me is the only D tackle I was like, this dude has potential to be a Pro Bowler. In my opinion, Levi. He went to Detroit, maybe.
He wasn't.
There goes being a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, there goes him being a Pro Bowler. Yeah, but I was like, dude, more so than like Barmore, you know what I'm saying, things like that. And I felt that a lot of the other D tackles, the Davion, and the Alan McNeils, they were scheme specific. So I wasn't displeased with them taking Osa in the 3rd round for the sheer fact that, again, this year I was very high on the Pac-10 guys. I felt like a lot of the Pac-10 seniors that played, any juniors that were eligible to come out this year, there was a lot of talent in that pool, more so than a lot of other conferences and divisions, I felt, from watching on film. It's just like to me, the best player in the country already is a Pac-10 player already for next year's draft.
Who's
the
that?
Defensive end out of Oregon, Kayvon Thibodeau. That dude is, I can tell you, he's a top 5 pick already. He's probably the best player in this draft. Dude,
Was he a freshman last year?
He was unblockable as a sophomore last year, I felt. Watching him play was like, is he coming out? That's all I could see. Is he coming out? Is he coming out? He's not eligible. Shit. I wouldn't be surprised. He might sit and wait for the draft. If this shit keeps up, there's no reason, bro. I can tell you. There's no reason for him to play another down in college. He's a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
He's that good.
Is that going to be our next talk football is who's the next year's fucking top pick?
Well, dude, you guys don't already have next year's mock put together, bro?
Coming season, man.
No, I don't already have next year's draft set up.
I mean, dude, there's something. Think about it. Some of these guys already have next year's mocks out, bro. Come on, dude. I'm not doing that.
That's it. Those people who do that, that's their job. They have like a next year's mock coming out now. They have this.
I don't have a big enough notebook for that shit, bro. Like that's just too much.
You know what? If I was getting paid, I'd at least have a first rounder. I'd have a top 50 guys. If I was getting paid,
you're not getting paid, and you probably got it.
You're right.
hey, no, that's not true. I know who the number 1 guy is. I know that. right? I've done enough research already. I know that the quarterbacks next year
A lot can
somewhat
change.
suspect.
A lot can change, though.
A lot can change, though, dude.
When the
Because
game
Joe
starts,
Burrow
you
was on
play.
nobody's radar.
That's
Nobody. I did not see Joe Burrow happening.
Yeah.
I seen A Bear happening, but I did not see Burrow. Yeah.
So what's your
So-
what's your grade for your boys then, Chris?
You know,
Like before, like they start cooking it, and you don't just put it in now.
I mean, bro, you know, it's funny. I'm not going to kill them either. I think they got some good players, some good talent. I'm not going to kill them for doing a defensive draft as much
No,
as
you
I
just
think
needed it.
they should have.
They overhauled the defense.
I mean,
Yeah, you needed to.
you know,
They
they got a top, you know,
linebackers,
7 or 8 player in this draft in Micah.
Corner.
I mean, Micah's one of those guys too that it's going to be hard for him to bust out, bro. They're going to give that dude every opportunity to succeed. They're going to build a defense around him. He's going to be stuck in the middle, flying around balls. You know, for me, this is my thing. He has to be as good as the 2 Devons, right? He has to be as good as Ryan Shazier, right? As good that's got to be his floor at this point. Anything less than the Devin Bush, Devin White, he's kind of a bust, bro, in my opinion, for a top because again, I don't agree with drafting linebackers so fucking high. Unless they're
Okay.
going to come in and be balls to the wall for 5 straight years and be the best in the business.
You're holding him to a totally different standard than you're holding other players to. I don't understand because it's your team. I
Yeah.
think.
Devin,
Put on your lips.
Didn't we just say, like, if your first round pick pans out, that's an A automatically? That's what,
Yeah.
right? Like,
well, yeah. But here, this is the thing, though. Again, for him to pan out in my book, okay,
Oh,
it's
that's
gonna
the
be
difference.
an S, right? You know what I mean? Right, okay.
I was going to say
Him
the standards
starting
for
games,
Leatherwood and the standards for Parsons are like totally different in Chris's mind. In that, yeah.
5, you know, hey,
Yeah.
hey, that's 5 selections in the draft. There should
Me
be
and
a big-
Steve both like your pick. I like your pick a hell of a lot more than I like
I
your
like your
Leatherwood
pick
pick.
a whole lot. I was
Yeah.
like, holy shit, Chris is gonna be happy.
That's what I
I mean,
thought.
dude, it's just
And then he's standing there in the
linebackers,
dark, just like incensed.
bro. Man.
He's gonna kill somebody. Like, oh, shit, does anyone check on Chris's family the next morning? This is getting weird.
I'm just saying, dude, you just got to think about this, right? If he doesn't come out and become Ray Ray, come
Oh,
on,
God.
dude.
I mean, are you what?
You just made him a he's got to be a Hall of Famer, or it's
He's got to be Devin
Well,
White,
I
Devin
mean,
Bush.
in fairness, if you're not a Hall of Famer, you're just some fucking guy. So I can understand why.
You're learning. You're
Yeah.
learning, Philip. You're
Yeah,
learning.
the Chris Johnson book is an interesting one when it comes to football talent.
I mean, dude,
Could you
he's
imagine
got-
being a player if Chris was the GM of the team? Could you imagine being players on that team? It'd be like everybody's head's on the fucking chopping block every single year. Yeah, what'd you rush for 1,700 yards for us last year? That's nice. What'd you do today? Are you a Hall of Famer? Man, you're just some fucking guy. Get the hell out of here.
Bro, look, if Jimmy will kick dudes off the plane, okay, you having to play every day for your job is a small price to pay. Okay. I believe in that. Absolutely. 1,700 yards. Yeah, you know what? You left 250 on the field. Continuous improvement, gentlemen. It's all about continuous improvement.
All right.
All right, so
What's
you
your
know what
fucking
I'm-
grade? What grade does your
A
team
minus.
get?
A minus.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's in the wheelhouse. What about Steve? Steve, what do you give him?
I actually gave him an A on the defensive things. I actually like what look, man, I was listening to Dan Quinn talk about the way the draft went. He likes long, athletic guys. Like he likes that long length.
He likes
wants players-
rangy guys, length and range, length and
So if you
speed.
look at everybody they got, they led him out in length. That was part of his draft strategy, was to grab those guys. Like that's what he liked in Seattle when he did the team up there, and that's what they're saying. Like a lot of those guys had length, and that's what he likes, and that's what he drafted for. He wants guys to play with speed and length, man. Like, or what are you I'm trying to remember?
Okay,
that.
here you go. Here you go. I wanted to show you guys this. Okay, so I'm going to share this with you. All right. Because I found this to be funny because here's everybody killing us.
Killing you. We just gave you a day.
Not you, not us. No,
No,
just
the experts are
open the
raking
damn
him
thing.
over the coals. They're acting like it's a terrible draft. I don't get
Dude,
it. I
dude,
like
I
your
want
guys'
you-
draft.
I want you to open that up straight from
Yeah,
Raiders, 49ers, and Cowboys among the teams with the worst value in this year's draft.
I think that's the most
what-
ridiculous thing I've read. I thought you guys had some of the best value in the draft, personally. It's a
Yeah.
preposterous statement.
Who
See,
the
look,
fuck
look.
is Jordan Heck?
Some
Well,
fuck is
dipshit.
that?
I don't know, but he's got a blue check, so that says something.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Who the fuck is he?
They give anybody a blue check now. It used to
Yeah.
actually matter. Nowadays, like you're some cam girl on OnlyFans, you get a blue check. It's bullshit.
It doesn't really. Yeah, fuck him.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, fuck
Wow.
Christian Heck. I ain't never heard of him.
Let's see
It don't
here.
matter.
Yeah.
Was it? One other thing here. Oh, okay. Here you go. What's funny is this, right? Okay, let me share this one with you now. They want to sit there and they want to kill us, but yet, and this was only one of the guys.
Hold on. Let me get to it. Why are you pulling your thing down? Just leave it up there.
Gotta get his porn
Because I'm
tab
seeing my
tab
screen,
down,
bro.
dude. Leave him alone. Jesus.
See my screen, dude. Okay, look, right? Look, next gen stats, right? And if you were sit there and you looked at a lot of these, they actually talked about how you can see how they talk about how this dude, rated out extremely high in the next gen stats. And when you look at the names that he's with, a handful of these dudes are players, a couple not so much. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying that it's, but this dude, this next
Well,
gen
those are some
stat,
fucking names on there right there. Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, DK
Right.
Metcalf. I mean, fuck.
but he could also be Miles Boykin or Dante Moncrief too.
Right. But still,
Right.
I mean, if you get Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, and DK Metcalf, you're feeling good. That's a
Right,
50-50
right.
shot, dude. That's-
And I could tell you
good news
this
to
too.
see.
I could tell you this too. That for the most part, most of us thought that we did very well. That our teams actually did very well in the next gen stats. So this is the other thing that I wanted to throw up for you guys. Right. So 4 weeks ago, this is what I posted: 5 quarterbacks, 7 O-line, 4 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 running back, 4 D linemen, 5 DBs, 5 D linemen. That's what's going in the first round. That was my prediction. I don't know if I thought I was fairly close to that. Thought I was pretty fairly close to that. Right? I mean, in reality, I think only 5 quarterbacks went in the first round. Is that right?
I
Yeah,
think
all
that's
5
right.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All 5 of them went.
I mean, I know I nailed the tight end pick as well.
So did I.
Yeah.
You didn't nail the tight end pick, Chris.
I nailed the tight end.
Yeah,
Look,
I did too.
look,
We both picked him for
yeah.
Atlanta.
For Atlanta.
Chris,
just so you guys can look too. I want you to show you. I did have Leatherwood still really high as a tackle.
Yeah, let me be honest with you, Chris. Actually,
And-
props on that because you're one of the only mocks I saw. I saw one other one that had him as a late first rounder as well. Otherwise, everyone else had him out of the first round.
And my
I
favorite
saw.
one, this is probably my favorite pick, is Trask at Tampa because they talked about taking him at 32 and went with Tryon, right? Who is probably my 33rd, 34th best player in this draft, quote unquote, if not higher, right? They took him there. But in the 64th pick, Tampa Bay selects Kyle Trask.
There you go.
Good
All
job,
right.
Chris.
Nailed that too.
I think maybe Steve went on. Did you not give him his award?
Nailed that.
I did.
He seems to be a little bit like he's.
I have his cookie over here. It's ready
Yeah.
for him.
He's like, you guys aren't going to pat me on the back enough. Watch me
Yeah.
hurt my arm.
What else you got? What else you got, Chris?
No, Chris, your draft analysis was good, man. I mean, I'd hire you. If I was running
Yeah.
the fucking sports side, I'd hire you over a lot of these quacks they got out there doing this shit. I thought your analysis was pretty good. And I thought your late round value picks when we went over those the other day were pretty good too, man. As I looked through the draft myself, I agree with a lot of what you had to say. And part of the reason that I think your team had such a good draft is you had pointed out a number of those guys that you guys got later on in the draft I thought were good value picks, especially Cox.
Yeah, Jabril Cox has a chance to really be good, bro. And I
like
dig
that
his
pick.
story. I dig his story as well. I mean, and that's the thing, dude. I'm going to root for certain guys regardless because of their story. Kid was at North Dakota State, You know what I'm saying? And when he went up there at the tail end of Carson into Trey, right? Balls out, basically says it's too fucking easy. Goes into the transfer portal to end up at LSU. COVID hits. He gets kind of screwed in a half a way, right? Has to play this half adjuncted season. You know what I'm saying? And so you only get a little bit of film on the dude. But every time I watched him, I'm like, this fucking dude is all over the place. I mean, left, right. He can run. He runs like a gazelle out there. And you know, I'm like, how big is this guy? You find out he's 6'3", and I'm like, this guy can run like that at that size? Holy cow, look at him. He's running with receivers. And that was the thing. When I was watching the Senior Bowl, I said the same thing about Divine Diablo, bro. I was like, this fucking dude, he runs like a gazelle. He's huge, and he runs so well. He's got good fluid motion. Those things just jump off the screen to me when I see it, and so I latch onto it. It's just like, you know, yeah, bro. It's like the other story. There's two other stories that really touched with me. Like I really enjoyed the Miners kid. I was glad to see, you know, him get drafted relatively high as well. You know, being some little country bumpkin from out of nowhere where he's working out, designing like Rocky-esque style workouts in the wood to stay in shape, you know, picking up kegs and shit like that, running through the woods. I like that, right? You know what I mean? The other thing that I really thought that I enjoyed is the Kwity Paye story. Did you guys see the Kwity Paye story?
Yeah.
Dude, that shit almost
my
brings,
mama
I'm almost
retired.
like,
She was like, my mama retired now. Yeah.
bro, that story,
awesome.
you almost want to be like, bro, you should be the number one pick in this draft. You know what I mean? On character alone, you should be the number one pick in this draft for getting through what they had to go through in the war-torn country they were in, families being shot, just, you know, whatever, bro. It's craziness to come here, be poor, broke, to have the forethought at 10, 11 years old to beg your mom, please send me to this boarding school, please, right? Dude, that's such a gravity of understanding beyond the moment that we all live in, our small little bubble. I was super impressed by that. And then to see, dude, does he look like he should be that big? His grandpa was small, right? He was small as Ken Baldwin. His grandpa looked as small as Ken Baldwin. His mama looked as small as, you know, Ken Baldwin's mom. You know what I mean? And that dude's sitting there like 6'3", 270 pounds of granite. Like, how did that happen? Where did that come from? He's a monster, dude. I for some reason I just enjoyed his story quite a bit. There's just certain guys that I'm gonna root for. I don't care if he's on the Giants or not. You know, I don't care if he's on the Giants or not.
So, Kawani, you didn't give us your grade for Dallas. What are you thinking?
I'm pretty close to you guys. I'm a little harder on everybody than you guys, it seems like, but I gave you guys a B+. I like your guys' draft actually about as good as anybody out there. I don't give out a lot of A's. And so, yeah, B+, man. I guess what I like is, you know, you guys traded back. You guys got some extra picks, and you threw more darts at the wall. So you got some good value, I thought, later in the rounds. And then you have a lot of needs on defense, and you kind of took a shotgun approach. I know you like value over quantity, but sometimes, especially later in rounds, I like quantity, man, because you can always cut them. You know, you're going to cut down, see who sticks. And so I like your draft on pretty much every level possible. There's a couple places in there where you could have done a little better, so I didn't give you an A. But all in all, man, B+. Solid draft.
Solid draft.
Will McClay knows his job, bro. That dude knows his job. I don't care what no one says. Will McClay knows his job. He knows how to stack a board, build a board, and stay true to it, right? I mean, you hear all these fans talk about it's Jerry and Steven, and yeah, they end up making the final call. But man, Will McClay is the one who for the last probably 6 years, I'm thinking, has put together the Cowboys draft board, and it is reflected heavily in the successes in their drafts that they've been having. The one time that they missed, they allowed Rod Marinelli to walk in and basically say the defensive end I want is Taco Charlton because TJ Watt isn't a scheme fit. And if Tone had a phone and recording, I looked and I said, that is the worst fucking thing ever. And then I got to watch TJ Watt go to the Steelers. I almost wanted to call up Rick and be like, fuck you, bro. Fuck you. Right at that moment. You know, Antonio was just like, really, God, bro, this is worst pick. Dude, we could have TJ Watt, bro. Let me get this straight. So JJ Watt's the older brother. They've got the middle brother in the NFL as well. You're going to pass on this guy for a dude named fucking Taco Charlton who hasn't produced at Michigan.
Bloodlines,
One
man. I don't know
single year,
how long
bro.
it takes teams to understand that bloodlines matter, man. These
They
are genetic
matter.
freaks. So if you know the genetics are
Dude.
there in the family, man.
And let me ask you this, okay? I'm gonna prove that point real quick, right? Not only are they genetically ready for it, but what did we talk about when it came to Patrick Surtain? He's so technically clean, mechanically sound, no wasted movement. He's so coached up. He's so perfect. His floor is so high. He may not get better than he is, right? Because his dad has already showed him every single technique there is to know, right? Okay, right?
He's been learning that shit since he's a child. It's
Think about
second nature.
That's why Steph Curry and Steph Curry can both shoot lights out, man.
Why the
Yeah,
Curry brothers-
and you know what, Kalani? I'm
dude.
glad you said that because I was thinking it's about that time we actually kind of gear over to the NBA since there's about 10 games left.
Yeah.
We can kind of get some kind of assessment on the NBA and maybe lead into our next show where we talk more about some NBA teams or kind of go from there because we all got realistically different teams we like that we root for. I mean, we all could like teams like, you know, I know Key likes the Warriors, but he's a Kings fan.
Yep.
You're a Celtics fan. We can go over our teams and see where everything's at and how we're doing on that too. For the last 9 games, let's see what's happening.
Well, I like the one thing I want to say right now because there's a lot of hubbub about this because people are getting upset. Is I like the play-in. It adds a whole level of excitement and I think discourages some tanking that would normally go on with a lot of teams and creates some excitement here for the end of the season with a lot of teams that essentially, you know, no one would really care about that much. And it's become a big point of contention, obviously, because if you're that team who's fallen into the 6th seed or fighting for that spot right there, all of a sudden you really hate the play-in. So our old LeBron James there's real upset about it. Luke has been real upset about it. And I think, you know, in the West, it's obvious that, like, don't nobody want to see Steph because he can go Human Torch at any time and you're out of the playoffs all of a sudden. So nobody in the West wants to end up in that 6th seed and have to play the Warriors, who look like they're probably going to end up being the 9 seed coming in there. But it creates a whole bunch of excitement. I mean, what do you guys think about the play-in? Do you like it?
I love it. I actually think it is. It adds a little more. It's like the wild card for basketball, or however you want to look at it. I mean, if you're an 8th seed, you got 2 chances to stay in there, right? Like, that's pretty much it, right? Like, so what is it? 7, 8, 9, and 10, right? So if you're the 7th seed,
I think 6 plays 9 and 7 plays 8, right? Isn't that what it is?
No, 1 through 6 is secure. 7 and 8 play each other. The winner of that game secures the 7th seed. 9 and 10 play each other. The loser of that game is out. The winner of the 9-10 game plays the loser of the 7-8 game for the 8th seed.
I like it.
Okay.
That's how it works.
I was just looking at something, and they had the line at the 6th seed, and I was making because that's what I thought. But then let me see if I can find it.
The 6th seed is in.
6th seed is in.
That's
So,
why,
like he said, 7 plays 8.
That's why Bron
The winner
is
has got the
pulling out the
7th
binky
seed.
right now is
So
because
if you're
they're
in
on
the
the verge
7th
of becoming
seed,
7.
Yeah, if you're in the 7th seed, you got to play.
Yeah,
And
you got to
can
use.
fall out.
Yeah. But see, how does that?
Got to play at least once.
Say that again, Chris. How are you saying it works out again?
So the 7 and 8 team will play, and that 9 and 10 team will play. The winner of the 7-8 game is in. They are the 7th seed. Okay. The winner or the loser from the 9-10 game
will play the winner of the 9-10.
And then the loser plays the winner, and they get the 8th seed respectively.
Right.
So
Okay.
that
That makes sense now. Yeah. Okay.
So one of those teams get 2 chances to lose. 7 and 8 get they get 2 chances. They lose twice, they're out.
Look at it like this. This. Bronny is sitting there with his little binky boo-hooing and shit because of the fact that, you know, he's on the verge of having to play, you know, and potentially, God forbid, him face Steph. You know he's shitting on himself with that.
That would be awesome. I want it. Let's bring it on. I told everybody, who you want? You want to let you? Hell yeah, fucking bring him on.
I mean, he is literally on the verge.
We'd love to kick them the fuck out of the playoffs.
Dude, whoever thought of this needs to be fired, bro. You wasn't saying that 2 months ago when you was at the 3.
Yeah,
I'm sure it wasn't. They didn't care about it.
They didn't say a word
That
about
is
it
about
until
to affect them.
into the 6th seed range, and Now there's three-way
here's the
tie
thing.
between them, the Mavs, and Trailblazers, I think.
About
Yeah.
50.
And really, honestly, like LeBron don't want to see the Warriors. He don't want to see the
The
Trailblazers.
Mavs or the Blazers, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
there's a number of teams in there because we got a few games, and there's a log jam there. It could move around a bit, and the Lakers right now look like trash. So they could end up in a tough spot where they're even having to play for
How
two
about-
times.
How about Lakers, Warriors, 9-10, and just get it done and over with?
I'm
And let
with it.
Steph
Let's
come
go.
and just rip out the heart of the champ with
I
a
love it.
65-point effort.
Nigga, we'd have confetti flowing down the goddamn rafters.
No, bro, there might be
Like we
there might
won.
be another parade. There might be another parade.
It'll be just like we won, bro.
Yeah.
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 But you know what's bad is this, Keith. So you asked me, so how do you feel about it? I don't like it. I don't like it because my team's on the verge of having to be in the play-in game too.
That's the
I don't
thing.
like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it because we're now officially the 7th seed and we're now a full game behind the Heat. And and quite honestly, bro, I don't think the Celtic team wants to see the Hornets in the play-in game. I don't think this Celtic team wants to see the Wizards in the play-in game with
Well,
a one and done.
The Wizards for sure would scare me. The Hornets scare me. LaMelo's a baller, man. I mean, the Charlotte would scare me. The Wizards would scare me.
Bro, and I'm gonna tell you,
And Rozier want to get back on you guys. He would love to.
Beat up Kemba, bro.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with my team has been the same that I've had for a while. We have not had a good defensive point guard that can really affect the other team's point guard on the defensive end, right? Yeah, we could throw Marcus Smart at him, but then you're taking away all the other scoring skills that, you put these other point guards in. We need a point guard that's a
You guys
little
would have
bit
been
more
better off keeping
well-rounded.
Scary Terry, man. Scary
I
Terry.
think
I
so,
mean, if you
too.
look at it, if you had Scary Terry right now, your team would be a lot better than with Kemba.
A lot better.
Kemba
than
gives
with
you
Kemba.
that offensive touch, but he's undersized, and on the
Dude,
defensive end, he's a
He's been
liability,
so
man.
Up and down, bro. He's been so up and down. He's been killing me. I'm watching games. I'm like, bro, you got to hit that shot, Kemba, and clank off the front iron. Clank off the front iron.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're killing me, bro. You are killing me. And then I'm watching the other point guard get down and get wherever he wants, right?
Yeah.
I'm watching, and it's just like, dude, you've got no D. You're a liability down at
Yeah.
that end of the floor. I've told Steve this. I firmly believe this. I would trade Kemba with the rest of that trade exemption. Bring in a third superstar that can shoot, a Devin Booker, a Beals. I'm not saying them two, but somebody along those lines, right? And bring in Lonzo Ball and let him run the point. Pass
Yeah.
first, defense second. Score third point guard that can
Dude,
actually.
you don't even need a Booker or a Beal. If you bring in Lonzo Ball, Lonzo actually shot a pretty good percentage from three this last year.
Yeah,
He's improved his shooting a lot. He's a tremendous passer and a great defender, and he's big for a point guard. You guys bring him in, and you bring in like a 3-and-D wing along with him. You guys are there. I mean, Tatum and Brown are fucking good, man. That's a good young tandem to have. You bring in someone else to play two guard and have Smart coming off the bench as your kind of like defensive pop you bring in to be kind of a goon when he comes in.
Yeah, he's
I think
a
you got
sixth
a good
guy,
team.
bro.
Yeah, for
Sixth
sure.
guy.
He's a great sixth guy. He really is. He's that goon, man. You bring him in off the bench to harass Steph Curry or whoever their big time point guard is, get some fouls, piss everybody off, get in their head. He's a Patrick Beverly type of cat,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and then like to me, the perfect trade for the Celtics would be to get Lonzo Ball and Steven Adams from Oklahoma, bro, because that gives you a defensive-minded big to help clog the middle down for rebounds and closes the lane down to a sense, right? He's not the greatest defender, but he ain't afraid either. He's better than Thies was. He's better than than Thompson. He's a better.
I agree with that, although I don't know that that's the direction the game's going right now. And outside of a few opponents, you don't need that. And you guys have a good roster construction if you get rid of Kemba to be one of those teams that switch 1 through 5. So if you bring in more of a stretch 5 instead of an old school center like Steven Adams, I actually think I like your guys' roster better because, you get somebody that can pull people out to the 3.
Who's a stretch? Let me ask you this: who's a stretch 5 though? And one of the biggest problems is this team's rebound differential is not very good, bro. They're on, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they're not very good. There's two things that this team shockingly doesn't do very well. One is so fucking obvious, and the other isn't as obvious. But they don't rebound the ball exceptionally well. They're like maybe 13th in the league, in rebounding. But the one thing that they suck at is assists. They're like 23rd in the league in assists, and it's because it's just a pound the rock into the ground, dribble, right? That's when I watch this team, that's what shocks me. And that's where I'm like, get Kemba the fuck out of there, because he's one of the biggest culprits at it. But because we don't
100%,
yeah, because we don't rebound, and because and if you're gonna have a Kemba or somebody there, you've got to have somebody to help in the lane as guys get past these weak defenders. So you've got to have a big that can challenge shots, and we haven't. Daniel Theis is was a hard player. He's not even there anymore, right? But I mean, he was really a poster waiting to happen. Robert Williams, I like his ability, but he is an absolute liability at the offensive end unless you're throwing a lob to him. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that they need a big man as a centerpiece, right? But they need better big play. What's up, Anthony?
What's up, man?
They need better big play. That's what I feel. You know, don't get me wrong, I love my wings, but I mean,
he wanted to say hi. But hold on, he can't hear you because you're in the earpiece.
Oh, right.
Actually, you know what? Here you go.
I like the before and after. I think
I learned that from Chris, just one earpiece at a time.
There you go. What's going on, Anthony? How you doing, man?
How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Hold on. That's me. Got to give me a second.
For what? We heard you. It's fine.
What's going on?
I'm here.
What's the problem?
I know what you're doing now.
I'm
stopping.
I hear both you guys.
Oh, what? You're going to stop the recording?
I had
okay.
No, I had some other app. I had something else going. I was going to show you some YouTube clips, but we never got into it.
I'll edit all this out later.
Yeah.
I'll cut all this out later.
Yeah, Anthony, so the number one question I got for you, man, I ain't talked to you in a while. The first thing I need to know right now, do you still got that fucking tongue ring? Stick your tongue out there, Tiger.
Yes, I do. There you go nowhere.
Oh, my God.
Anthony, the late 90s called. Hey, Anthony, the late 90s called.
Yeah, whatever.
They want their piercing back.
Don't talk to me.
Yeah, they want their piercing back.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to talk about it real quick. I'll see you guys a little bit.
Yeah, all right. You're running for city council with that tongue ring, huh? How'd that go
Yes, I
over?
am.
Knocking on doors over there? Hey, what's going on?
Not winning
Anthony
with
Green?
it. Not winning with it.
Can I get your vote? I bet you got all the old church lady votes like a motherfucker, huh? They were like, "Oh yeah, this man got
He's done.
We also got a lot of swing votes, if you know what I mean.
That was good, Chris. I like that one. Yeah.
Oh man, I can't. That's so funny. I need to know. I got one question. Ain't seen your fucking.
Hey, could you not tell by the way I started cracking up? I already knew.
You knew it was coming. I'm shocked
awesome.
he still has it, man. Legitimately, I'm shocked that he still had it. I thought for sure he was going to say no. That's amazing.
No, he ain't saying no.
Yeah,
All right, so you guys, I was going to see if you guys want to do another show later on this afternoon. I mean,
you can't keep going, Steve?
Bro, I got to run some
errands. Did you not ask for permission, bro?
Right
Did you not ask for? Oh man, come on, bro. Who's the man, bro? Who's the man in the house, bro? You don't see us pulling this stunt.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
we need to text Christian and ask if you can come out to play.
I was thinking about like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock. We can do another little wrap. We got the Warrior game on, and we can kind of watch that and commentate on that and see how we do on that type of shit.
That's about my dinner time, bro.
Yeah,
so
that's a tough time for me. I'm cooking dinner right around then.
You want to talk? You want to talk after
3?
the game?
I could do 3.
3
or
sounds
7.
good.
7 works too. Either one of those would work for me. 3 or 7.
I'll do 7 or 3. I'll do them both if you want it. I don't care. So how about we'll just say
what the fuck is that? Is that like a Wolverine samurai? Why are we supposed to give a fuck about that?
That it is, yeah, that it is.
Did you get that at Disney World or something and you're excited about it? Why are you showing us this? This is as homoerotic as Anthony's tongue ring.
Not quite.
Not quite. Settle down now.
All right, man. So I guess just text later on whenever you guys want to do it. 3 or 7, I'm in. Whichever one you guys want to do.
Okay, well, 7 o'clock for sure.
Let's go.
And I'll hit you guys up at 3 if I want to try to get online again.
Okay.
We'll see what's up.
Sounds good, man.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right,
Later, guys.
fellas. I'll talk to you later, bro. Later, Chris.